Welcome back to Tech Coach Corner, a YouTube series presented by Dyknow. I'm Tiara Lustig, your host, and today I'm joined once again by Bruce Reicher, and we're talking all about Wakelet and how to use Wakelet both for professional development and to enhance your instruction. When Bruce initially was talking to me about being on the show, one of the things he mentioned immediately was that every educator needs to be using Wakelet, so I wanted to unpack that statement and understand how he really uses Wakelet to enhance his classroom and his media plan. So it's a great conversation. Looking forward to getting you a bunch of tips on Wakelet. Before we get into the conversation, don't forget to subscribe to Dyknow's YouTube channel and go ahead and follow us on all of our social media. We'd love to engage with you there and keep an eye out for our next digital event as well as some exciting offers that are coming up. I think that's all I have to plug today, so let's jump into the episode. Welcome back to Tech Coach Corner, everyone. I'm Tiara, your host, and today I'm joined by Bruce Reicher. Bruce, would you want to give a brief introduction to yourself before we get started?
Sure. Well, first of all, thanks so much for having me. I've been an educator for 25 years, and currently I'm a technology teacher in northern New Jersey, right outside of New York City, and I teach 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, 6th grade digital leadership, 7th grade coding, and 8th grade is video production. And I'm lucky enough that we've built a TV studio in a classroom in our school, and the 8th grade students do a live production every single day of everything: news, sports, weather, announcements, and every day we'll have a feature or interview on the show, and they really step up and do a great job with it.
That's awesome. I love that you do that show every day. So Bruce, we worked with you on the Tackling Tech podcast before, and I reached out to you to be on Tech Coach Corner. One of the topics you suggested was the topic that every educator needs to use Wakelet. So I'm not super familiar with Wakelet. Could you maybe give an overview of what Wakelet is, why you think every educator needs to use it, and then maybe some creative ways that you've been using Wakelet during remote learning and in the classroom?
Yeah, no, definitely. I learned about Wakelet about 2 years ago, and we talk about keeping it simple. Like, how many extra tools do you need? And I almost didn't get it at first, that they call it a curation site. So simply put, you could put everything that you need to go find and share into a Wakelet site. They have terrific customer service. I got DM by Misbah Gadal, who works for them, the day after I signed up. And interestingly enough, they're in England and I'm in the East Coast in New Jersey. And he's like, "Do you want a tour?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So he's like, "If you could be there 7 in the morning, it's 3 in the afternoon for me." And he walked me through the whole website, exactly how it works. It's set up as a simple interface, and it's free to make a website where you can include not only bookmarks and put them into folders called collections, but you could just put regular text. You could put PDFs. It talks to your Drive or your Microsoft collection that you might have someplace. You can upload from there. And FlipGrid, they have a lot of partnerships. Wakelet, FlipGrid is one of them. FlipGrid Shorts, or to make 10-minute little videos, is built right into Wakelet. So the idea of this is, for me, is putting everything in one place. And now I think I have 3 Wakelet collections. One of my Wakelet collections is just for school. So all of my classes have a folder. Students can go to that folder, which I link to Google Classroom. They'll see a video of me welcoming them with remote learning, and then all the resources for that day's lesson. And even though I don't have students creating Wakelets yet, which they could do, it's very helpful for me just to share out one link, and everything is there for my students. Another Wakelet collection I have is just a professional development collection. This one, when I learned about Wakelet 2 years ago, like I said, it didn't hit me at first. Then I went to ISTE in Philadelphia, and before you know it, you have thousands of bookmarks. I was a person who was emailing myself to remind myself of all these things, and now from my phone, I could create a collection. I could put them, I have 4 or 5 ISTE folders of all different things in Wakelet, and then as I expanded on that, my professional development Wakelet site has in it all things for distance learning, how to do Wakelet, FlipGrid, WeVideo. Any resource that I need, I can go and put in this collection. And if I listen to any Twitter chats, or if I've been lucky enough to be a guest on them, you can actually put your Twitter feed into the Wakelet collection, take the top 50 tweets from that Twitter chat, put them in ascending order of when the chat started till when it ended, and then very quickly you have a collection of all of those tweets. And the really cool thing is, I did this with Educator this summer. He did a video workshop. Don Goebel, who's an excellent teacher from St. Louis, Missouri. So he does a whole workshop with all these video teachers, including myself. And at the beginning of it, I say to him, you want me to do a Wakelet page? So he's like, what's Wakelet? I'm like, oh boy, you're going to love Wakelet. So all I did is the chat from Zoom, I just copied. And then all of those hyperlinks, I put into a Wakelet collection. He was blown away, but then he really hit the floor when I said, I'll share the collection with you and we could crowdsource it together. So whatever you want to put in that folder, you could put in, and then you just have that one web link that you could share. And a lot of colleges, and Don Goebel did this on his website, there's an embed code, which is a fancy code of HTML you don't have to do, but just know where it is. You take the Wakelet embed code, you put it on your web page, and then before you know it, you're dynamically updating your web page from Wakelet. And you could do it all on your phone, and you don't have to know anything about website design. And then the third and final Wakelet that I've created is with Paula Neidlinger and Randy Tomes. I've written a book called Scripted. And one of the things that we really wanted to do is have a Wakelet collection to keep the book updated. You know, any book about technology is going to get old fast. So we wanted to have a way to put new resources out there. And we were very lucky in the book. We Video, Wakelet, and something called Backbone Radio. The CEOs of those companies wrote parts of our book about their tool. So Misbah Gadal actually wrote from Wakelet, wrote the Wakelet section, how you can incorporate media into it. Two other tools in Wakelet I would definitely recommend is they highlight like boards of the day that you can go into. And there is also a search function that you could search for any topic, and it will give you a Wakelet board that's done. And finally, for students, if the students are 13 or under, you can give them a code. They can collaborate together. If they are 13 or over, and some high schools have done this, they've taken their technology teams of students, and they've become Wakelet ambassadors and have gone through the different levels of Wakelet. And a powerful thing a high school student could do, you have to show your portfolio. Just give them a Wakelet link, and you can have video clips, you can have your resume, you can have all different types of documents. They're all in one place. And again, you don't need to know HTML or web design, and it becomes a really slick website that you could share out with a future employer.
Those are great tips for using Wakelet. I love the idea of having high school students use them as their kind of portfolio or resume. I think that's really creative and really goes along with the times of technology really, taking over and becoming the primary way that people communicate. So hopefully we will link Wakelet so that people can use it, engage with it, begin to learn it. If they want to learn more tips from you, Bruce, where can they find you and engage with you?
Sure. The best place is on Twitter, just at Reicher, Breicher. And the other thing I would highly encourage them to do is just go to wakelet.com, open a free account. It's very easy and simple to set up. And like everything else in technology, just start small. Start with a need that you have. A lot of people like myself, my need was I just had bookmarks all over the place, and I wanted to put them in one central place and organized. And in the beginning, Wakelet was my solution for that. And then I started learning some of the other tools that it has.
That's awesome. I love a tool that serves one immediate purpose and then bridges into a whole nother realm of possibilities for you to create with. So thank you for sharing these tips on Wakelet. I hope everyone watching has a chance to use Wakelet, get a free account, and start creating there. So thank you, Bruce, for sharing your tips today.
Thank you.